Welcome to Chaotic Harmony. My name is John.
This is Crystal. We talk about the joys and the challenges of teaching music in the elementary school classroom.
We share struggles, we brainstorm solutions.
And we would love to have you join us. Welcome back to Chaotic Harmony, you guys. And today we have a bigger table because we have more people.
If you're watching the video version. If you're not, you should watch it because bigger table. Yeah.
That's the only reason.
That's the only reason, yes. Also, we have two new faces you might see.
Yeah, we have Leah. Say hi, Leah.
Hi, my name's Leah.
And we have Jessandra.
Hi.
And so these guys are both teachers with us in Chula Vista. And I'm going to let John kind of take it from here.
Yeah, well, actually, we haven't had an introductory podcast in a while. What we did in seasons prior is we would interview different people. Season 3 has all been just us talking, just the two of us. So
well, COVID kind of killed the pattern.
COVID killed I was hoping there would be another alliteration there, but no.
Yeah.
So what we typically do is we just ask the people that are new to the podcast, like, who are you? That's our program notes. So Leah, how about I start with you?
Program notes. So where are you from? If we were writing this in a program for a play, where'd you come from, Leah?
Well, I came from San Diego.
Oh,
hi.
I was born and raised in San Diego. I actually grew up crossing the border until I was 11 years old. So I was born here, but I lived in Tijuana.
Okay.
And so my schooling took place like waking up at 3 a.m, coming to San Diego like at 7 a.m. to be at school at 8.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, my whole schooling, everything has happened in SD.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. And Jessandra?
I was born in the San Fernando Valley, so I'm an official Valley girl.
Yes.
That is the Valley Girl Valley.
You've got to like lay it on.
I know. No.
She's like denied.
Do you actively push against that?
And I went LAUSD kid, did orchestra kid for a long time, and then did band in high school. I went to UC Irvine, and then I went to Boston for a couple years and came back, moved to San Diego. Much better than Boston, where it's never gets to 8 degrees or lower. So
yeah, I can't camp below 50.
We pull the parkas out when it hits
we did.
60.
And the thing is, the two of you have a unique situation, which I think we'll get into in a bit. The two of you teach at the same school site, or school sites, should I say. So what school sites are there?
Marshall Elementary School and Macmillan Elementary.
Cool. And what are they? What are those like demographics like, more or less?
Well, they're both.
Just to give some context to the listeners, it's not just a name, but like.
To the listeners, I feel like we're being tested on our ILPs because John is our mentor.
Induction mentor, yes.
So basically, they had to say yes to this interview.
Right. I mean, it doesn't have to be numbers. Just like what are they like? Yeah. Like the kids you teach, who are they like?
We've got about 1,200 kids.
1,200. Okay. I keep wanting to say 1,500 because that's just what it feels like, but it's 1,200.
No, I say 1,500 because I also teach at the youth symphony. So I think it might be close to 1,500. I don't know. It's something like that. It's over 1,000, and it's a lot of kids, and some of them get confused why we don't know their names, and that's why.
Yeah. They're the same students that call you mom too.
Right. Well, we're the same person at both schools, so I get called Miss Nevadas all the time.
No, I get called Miss Konos.
There we go.
Whatever, it's cool. I'll take it.
They're one of our schools has got a really high special education population.
Okay.
And that's mild, especially they're integrated into the general education classrooms, so not including the mod severe classes. We've got a lot, and the other schools actually got a lot of English language learners. So got to work on them.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I was really excited to talk to you guys is this is both of your first year teaching.
Yes.
And I just can't even imagine what that must be like for you. And Jonathan was telling me that you guys both did your student teaching while we were still doing distance learning, right?
Yeah.
And we did it, digitally. So.
Yeah. So this is what a wild ride this whole year has been. So are your kids mostly like middle income, low income, high income? Where do they land?
I would say at one of the schools they land a little bit lower income than the other school, but both of them are kind of low mid.
Okay.
But one of them definitely, I think, a little bit lower income, where there's higher population of I guess, free and reduced price lunch if
Okay.
we're being, official.
Okay, gotcha.
Congratulations, a check mark for my
There we go.
assessment there.
And then you guys have very different training, right?
Yeah.
So Leah, what is your instrument and your training, and what was music education like for you?
Music education for me was a wild ride. There were so many times I wanted to give up. But something inside me was just like, no, let's do this just to see what happens.
Really, like in college?
In college,
Okay.
and also just growing up, I didn't grow up learning how to read music traditionally. I barely learned how to read. If I'm being honest, I barely learned how to read sight read music in my undergrad. That's when I learned how to read music like perfectly.
Did you have ensembles or anything when you were going through San Diego schools that you were in?
Not until I got to high school.
Okay.
And that was, I looked for those resources. Those resources was kind of hidden. I did go to an art school, but it was a very like low budget income. It was San Diego High School, right in the heart of downtown San Diego.
Yeah. By Balboa Park, right?
Yeah, right down the street.
Yeah.
And our music education program was basically mariachi. And that's how I got into singing and learning how to play the double bass. And also picking up the flute there as well for marching band. But as I got into my undergrad, I studied vocals. So I'm a vocalist. I'm a singer.
Hey.
And the whole program, it was just amazing. I love San Diego State. It prepared me for everything. And yeah, I kind of miss it. I've learned a lot just being a first-year teacher as well. So yeah, everything that they prepared me for, like I've seen it, tackled it. I feel confident in what I'm doing, even though at first I didn't feel confident. And John knows because he was my
Supervising teacher.
my supervising
She
teacher.
did great. She did great. This is the foot. I'm gonna shoot it.
But yeah, that's my training. I'm a vocalist.
All right. Jessandra. Sorry, I'm going to get that right. How about you?
I'm a string player, and I started. I got really, really lucky, actually.
Yeah.
I think because I started playing guitar in middle school. We had an after-school program, and it was kind of a free. The school we were at didn't have, I guess, another under-resourced school. So it was a free after-school program, and yeah, they had a guitar teacher, so I started with that, and I had a bunch of friends. We had an orchestra, bunch of friends in the orchestra. I'm a cellist. I'm gonna admit it on like officially on record now. I did not know what a cello was when I picked the cello.
Oh, wow.
I just had a bunch of friends in orchestra and they all played violin, and I was like, I don't want to play violin. Everyone plays violin. So I picked the cello, and where I think I got really lucky is that I had a set of really, I guess, I had some teachers who put a lot of work into letting me progress, because I had both my teacher in middle school and my teacher in high school were actually brass players, so they were maybe not as strong at like string technique.
Sure.
But they gave me the space to really like progress. So in because I actually started in 8th grade, so it was the last year, and my teacher was like, "Well, you practice and you can catch up. Like I'm going to throw you into the advanced in your second semester."
Nice.
Yeah, so it was really cool. So he would actually just let me go practice and during class.
Yeah.
So that the next year I could go join, because I just wanted to play with my friends. So, and then I totally fell in love with it. Went to high school, and we actually my mom was like, "Well, let's pick a high school that you want to go to. You really want to do music." So I also went to an arts high school. Did orchestra. I had a teacher who really pushed me in a lot of ways, which was great. And then I think it was my senior year, like right before the end of my junior year, I was like, I really want to do music. Like I have to do music. And he actually, that's actually how I got into music education. My teacher kind of introduced me to it in a lot of ways. And he was like, well, you probably should have private lessons. So 6 months before auditions, I started taking private lessons.
Wow.
I get that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
got really, really lucky. Just I had a lot of people who kind of paved that way for me. And then same thing, even when I got accepted for a program, the teacher at the time, Maggie Perkins actually was the teacher at the time. She let me in knowing that I would need a lot of work. And I really appreciate that she did, because I think she saw more how much I had grown in that amount of time rather than where I was at that moment, because I was definitely very, very, very behind. So yeah, I got really, really lucky. Yeah. So that's how I got into it.
You know, I almost feel like that's an asset when you go into music education, is to not have been in, at the top of the ensembles and be the best person, because like I really struggled in a lot of my music education. And I was telling you guys before we started recording, I have theory trauma. Like, I'm a much better musician now than I ever was in college, which I should be, because it's been 15 years. Like, like you're supposed to keep growing. And I don't know where we get this idea that you have to have your act together when you're 18 and deciding what you want to do with the rest of your life. Of course, it's a growth process. And if you struggled through that, you know how that feels as the student. And so you can have those glasses on. You're not just looking for the kids at the top of the game. You're looking for the kids who are like you, who need a leg up. The passion is there. Anyway, that's a soapbox.
We love it. Stand on it.
Yeah. All right.
It was actually
I have a lot of them.
It was fascinating, because you are right. I think that the people, because I know there are many elements. We talked about this, Crystal, but there are many elements where I struggle in music comprehension and such. But I feel like when you aren't, those who are not at the quote unquote top of the game, because I also went to performing arts school as well. And like, I think the element that I was not first chair always like helped me to understand, okay, this is why I'm struggling here. I can be, and then that has helped me as a teacher. I'm sure that's resonated with all y'all, hopefully.
Yeah, totally.
Also, the fact that you didn't want to play violin and you chose cello, what does that say about the viola?
See, I also did not know what a viola was.
That's true,
I just picked the big one.
It's like the kids say, violin, bigger violin, bigger violin, really big violin.
If I had known about the viola, I probably would have been a violist.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the sound of the viola, but I'm very happy to be a cellist. I love my cello. It's like definitely a part of me. Not to be one of those geeky orchestra kids.
Oh,
but.
be it. We embrace that here.
Definitely.
This is the place to be that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just looking at you. That's all.
Oh, you're looking at me.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm looking at the mic actually right here.
Are you looking at me?
Okay, full shut now.
Just kidding.
So the two of you started, as you mentioned earlier, also, like you started your student teaching unlike everyone else. You were doing this online. First off, how was that?
Yeah, right?
I mean, you don't need like a formal essay, but like, how was that like? So was there any benefits of it, do you think? Or actually, you know what? Just share everything. Don't even go to the benefits yet. How was that like?
Yeah.
Well, my experience...
And you're welcome to throw shade at me. It's fine.
My experience was, it was terrifying, first of all, because being inside a student's home space where they're supposed to be, at ease or, comfortable in their own space, that was terrifying because, I mean, we're going to get into that story. You know what story we're going to talk about.
Yes, I do.
I know what story you're going to talk about.
But
I'm on pins and needles. I have no idea what story you're going to tell.
Parents are back there. They're listening to everything that you're saying. They're listening to everything that you're teaching the kids. And at first it was like, okay, I'm going to do this. It's online. It's not going to be that hard. For somebody who is like, I used to opt out for the online classes. Those were fine for me. Even before the pandemic hit, I was able to keep on top of all that schoolwork. But when it came to student teaching, that was a whole different beast. I actually got chewed out by a parent who was like, if all you're going to do is sing about Halloween, then we're out.
Yeah, this is... What was the song? It wasn't even Halloween,
It wasn't
though.
even Halloween.
What was this? You sing, Pumpkin Stew, right?
No, it wasn't even, but Pumpkin Stew is, first of all, amazing.
It is amazing.
That is a legit song. Yeah.
The kids love it.
They do.
I was singing, I don't know, but it ended with, and it's Halloween fun. That's the only
right.
line at the end
right.
that was, I don't even remember the words.
Yeah, there's a ghost in there. That's probably another maybe, but like...
That was a maybe in there, but it had to do with movement, and, I was trying to teach that to the kids, because when you're online teaching music, like, all we could have done was just, like, movement activities.
Yeah.
A little bit of singing.
Not group singing.
Not group singing.
Nope.
So it was a great experience trying to be creative online, but also it was terrifying because everybody and their kids could hear what you were teaching online, and that was what was terrifying about it. And so, yeah, that happened to me, and that kind of stung. It was really, really bad. I eventually found out that the student was a Jehovah's Witness, and I was like, oh, well, I should, like tell the mom, I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness also. I grew up that way too, but when we came over to San Diego, there wasn't a lot of Spanish-speaking congregations, so we stopped going. We stopped attending. But yeah, it was terrifying. Eventually we got the hang of it. The tech part of it, even though I'm a millennial, I still struggled with it a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my experience.
And I think the difficult part, because you were mentioning how you might talk to the parent later on, like, they aren't in the camera.
Right.
You don't know who's next to them all the time. It is oftentimes maybe their camera's even on. You don't know. And then if you do, it's like, it's just the kid. And, oh, wait, 5 inches away to their left is the parent. So, it's tough. It's tough.
Mm-hmm. Even having been teaching for a while, like, that was so out of my comfort zone. And I have a few dozen stories where, people popped into the camera or said things back at me, or my principal got, an email or a message on Teams from a parent, because we had never had them in the room like that before. And I think everybody was just under such an enormous amount of stress.
Yep.
And we have little boys, we have 8 and 10-year-old boys. And so, like, trying to do our work and keep them engaged in online learning and, just all the things that came with the pandemic stress, like, families were under an enormous amount of stress, and nobody's at their best.
Exactly.
So you're definitely not alone in those stories. And I'm sorry that happened when you're a student teacher and you're just like putting yourself out there for the first time. Oh my gosh.
I just want them to learn.
You're like, I am reaching for literally anything, because nobody wrote a book about how to be an effective teacher online.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry. And I feel that pain so acutely is my point. But you survived. You survived. Good job.
Thanks,
yeah.
Crystal.
How about you, Jessandra? How was student teaching for you?
I, for about a year and a half, was Boston's worst neighbor. Because I was in Boston when I was student teaching.
Okay.
And me and my partner lived in an apartment that I think was 293 square feet with very thin walls. So every day at 8 a.m. our neighbor would hear, "You'll sing a song," really loud. So it's actually student taught with strings, but I ended my student teaching a little early to pick up a maternity leave job. So I did strings, which hearing me play Rocky Mountain on the violin is, as much as I know I am a string player, but I'm not a violinist. And I'm sure that was a little rough.
Yeah.
Again, at 8 a.m. And then the job I picked up was also, it was online totally, and it was a general music. I thought I definitely learned a lot. I think one of the best things that came out of it was I got really good at finding online resources.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I would have had I been in person. Being in person is totally different, though, because kids aren't muted.
I know. So, I do miss the mute button. That was the one benefit.
Yeah. I mean, I love it, but there's definitely, I feel that, because I've been teaching, like I've always been like throughout my undergrad and my master's, I was doing something like a teaching somehow. And I do feel that kids are so excited to be around each other again. And I don't want to wreck that, but sometimes it's a little like, okay, we're still in class. I think though some of the, it was actually more from the job that I had, more than my student teaching. My student teaching was great. I had a really, really great mentor teacher. And she's amazing. And we're still friends and everything. So she's fantastic. But my job was, it's your first job, so you're alone suddenly. Like no one's here to tell me what's going on. And that was a little, it was a little scary sometimes, because you're online and you're seeing these kids in their own spaces. And sometimes you're seeing, like I would have some kids who they had full freedom, and I'd have kids like climbing around on things and doing things where I'm like, you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
And there's a parent somewhere,
Right.
but not in that space.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was really kind of terrifying. Just that like lack of, like you don't have control over their safety.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was, yeah. And I also had a class that was, again, learned a lot. I was really, really bad at it at first. I had a class that was only non-English speakers, the full class. And I'm not a Spanish speaker. I'm learning, but I'm not a Spanish speaker. And Portuguese too. So Spanish I can kind of work around a little bit, and I can usually understand a lot of it, but Portuguese was just totally
So
quite
non-English speakers online.
online.
Oh my gosh.
Doing
Yeah.
music. And a lot of them were just, I mean, just so disconnected at first, just because,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like it's a bunch of
Yeah.
people talking English at them, you know, they just,
Right.
how are they gonna, yeah.
Yeah.
So that class I learned a ton from. By the end of it, we really had, like, I had a relationship actually with each kid, which was great.
That's
but
really cool.
Yeah.
it took a lot of that. It took a lot of Google Translate.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely was interesting. I do feel that we miss out in some ways, or maybe gain in some ways, I'm not sure, but since it's new for both of us, I almost feel like everything's new. So even though we're in this situation, it's all new, so we don't really have a frame of reference.
What is normal?
Right.
When you figure it out, can you tell me?
Right.
That'd be great.
So, because it sounds like
Yeah.
your first year is hectic no matter what.
It is.
So-
Yeah,
it is. It
it is.
definitely is. And it depends on where your first year at any school is hectic, because now I've taught at 5, and it just, there's so much relationship building that you have to do, and there's a different culture at every single school, and there's different norms, and it's just rough. So yeah, I can only imagine. Yeah, and my student teaching had nothing to do with my job right now. Nothing. And
Oh, wow.
it was a high school
Same.
band placement.
Same.
Yeah.
Band
yeah, so
and
I
guitar,
had to figure
so-
it all out. Yeah.
Yep. Guitar kind of transferred to ukulele, but like, yeah.
Yeah, you don't learn how to manage a kindergarten class and
Yep.
rhythm sticks and how
No.
to pass out hand drums and stuff like that when everybody's seated behind a music stand.
I will say also, because I student taught in Massachusetts, their music isn't very different.
Yeah.
And so coming
Yep.
from somewhere where music is required, and they have entire districts that, like, they have a district. I mean, we have ORF, right? So we do have a district methodology, but that's not always common in a lot of the
Yeah,
other
it's
California
not.
districts.
Yeah.
In Massachusetts, it's a thing, and everyone's got a doctorate, and there's music teachers making 6 figures, which is great for them.
So the culture of music education is already established in Boston.
Super established.
Yeah.
It's a lot more. Yeah, there's. I mean, which is nice because the schools, I think, have an idea, have more of like a vision of what they think that their specific program is going to look like. Yeah, it's so
It is
coming
very
from
different.
there. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
everyone's got instruments and everyone's got not at the school. The schools I worked at, it's not universal, obviously, but
It's a lot more common. It's a lot more accepted part of the DNA.
Yeah,
Like out here, if you're in a music ed program in California, they teach you how to do an elevator speech to advocate for music education as part of your undergrad. Which is ridiculous.
which we had to do too a little bit, but it
Yeah.
was a little less. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
yeah. So it was different, for
different.
sure. Yeah. I mean, I actually, we had an elementary methods course for my master's, and I mentioned to my teacher, my professor, that in California, elementary music is not super common, and I did not have elementary music, and she was shocked. Like she was like went online and looked it up, and she was like, "This is insane. I didn't know."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, the fact that I got a job as an elementary teacher shocked me a little bit. I was like, oh, I didn't realize. Yeah, I love it. They're great.
Yeah.
I'm curious, how did Mark find you?
So I actually applied to SDYS.
Okay.
Yeah. So I work with the Youth Symphony too in their Opus program. I work at Los Altos as well.
Okay.
Teaching strings, and I got the job, or I was in the process of getting, I can't remember where exactly this happened, but the person who was hiring me I mentioned to her, and my schedule might change because I'm looking for a full-time teaching position. But for now, because at the time I was like, I'm completely free. Any hours you need. But I said my schedule will probably change, and then I can only do after school stuff. She's like, that's fine. I actually know the coordinator, the VAPA coordinator for CV. Would you like me to? Okay. Yeah, he's great. I love. Yeah, I'm so grateful.
Hi, Mark. Please listen to this episode.
And yeah, so she was like, "Do you want me to put you in contact with him?" And I was like, "Yes, please. I need a job.
I need a job.
My loans are only on forbearance for so long."
There went to the heart.
Yeah. So she put me in contact with Mark, and I called Mark, and he was amazing. He was just, we need to get you somewhere. Like, what, here's, these people are hiring, and like, it's just great. It was, and yeah, he really advocated for me, which I thought was really nice for someone who had just met me.
Yeah.
And just kind of looked over my resume. So, he's really put in a lot of work for us, I think. So,
yeah.
Put a lot of work for you, but for this, what did Mark do wrong this week?
He's not here. Leah, how did you find Chula Vista?
Through this guy, through Jonathan.
So you were placed with him through state,
Yes.
for student teaching.
But actually, even before student teaching,
Sucked
she
you
was.
in.
You were one of my observers. You and Hirami, right?
Oh, field work.
Yeah.
And actually, so like for me, you were my first student teacher, and so when I was I was contacted by Jennifer, who was telling who's going to go with who. It's like, oh, sure, I'll do a student teacher during distance learning. Sure, I'll try it. And it says Leah Nevadas. Oh,
especially when I'm feeling like an expert.
I know that girl.
Yeah.
I actually picked, like, they make you sign this like sheet, like, what's your first pick and what's your second, what's your third, and they'll pair you up with a teacher. And I was like, I've always wanted to work south of the 8. Like, put me down there. Like, I will thrive there. And yeah, this guy, I ended up working alongside him, and it was a lot of fun. It was really crazy. I learned a lot. And then we ended up finding out that we have like a lot of like friends.
Yeah.
Connections.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, that's
okay. Small
cool.
world.
Yeah, that's a small world. And so I was like, okay, I feel comfortable here.
I was comfortable until the cat dander got around.
Oh yeah, I have cats, and then Jonathan's allergic to them. So every time I would come in,
you can leave now. COVID, what's going on?
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, no way, really? It's just cat allergies.
Yeah, that's all it is. Is what it is. So you shared a little bit about your whole like distance learning situation. I think one of the most unique situations is the fact that you came in not on day one. You came in the beginning of quarter 2, starting a new culture, and Crystal, correct me if I'm wrong. We've never had a dual partnership for 2 music teachers at the same site.
Not that I know
at
of.
Chula Vista.
Yeah.
It's common on the East Coast, but not so much here. So
until 5 years ago, there weren't even music teachers in Chula Vista schools. I don't know if you guys know that part of the story, but I guess it's 6 years ago now.
Time's a flat circle.
I know, whatever time is anymore. And so, when I found out that you guys were at the same school sites, I'm like, wait, they're hiring more than one music teacher now?
Can you help me out here? Do the same here?
Yeah, right? I've been saying I need a strings person forever. Yeah.
So
it's interesting.
When the two of you got together, what was it like recreating culture? Because there was another music teacher there before, and so you had to create a new culture in the middle of the school year, and then you meet this new person you've never met before, but now you're the same person apparently.
Yeah.
So
like, here's your new best friend, and go.
Exactly.
I will say, as a new teacher working with another new teacher, it is probably the best situation we could have walked in.
Yeah.
We're very lucky that we get along. I think if we were really stressed and we didn't get along, but it's been phenomenal to have another person where it's like, do you know what's going on? No. Like, okay.
It's been really helpful too, just like bouncing off ideas from one another, like getting together. Because when I got hired, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to teach these children? Well, I have all these skills, I've learned all this stuff. How am I going to apply it? And just having that co-teacher next to you, like, all right, what do we want them to know? What do we want to have them walk away with after they're through with us? so bouncing ideas off of one each other and working through our scope and sequence and our lesson planning was just like, okay, one less thing to worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been very helpful.
It's been really, really phenomenal. I think also starting the new culture thing, I actually don't know how long ago their last teacher was there, because not all of them, I don't know that last teacher worked during COVID is what it seems like.
Okay.
Based off how the kids talk about the teacher, because some of them know him and some of them don't.
Gotcha.
They had a sub, and when we got there, and they were like, well, where's the sub? Right? Where's this, like, I won't drop names, but where's this person? I was like, well, you have 2 new teachers, but we're going to stay. And I think that made a difference for them of just knowing that we are their permanent music teachers, that we are here and we're not going to leave them. I think really, I didn't feel that there was much tension with us coming in at all. I think the kids were just excited that they had people here for them. And like, I think we were good at like establishing that at the beginning. We're like, no, we're your music teachers. Like, we are for you, and we're here, and we're going to be here for a long time. Cool. Yeah. And I think that really helps, because with everything, so many changes that they've already been through, to know that they have like some people who are dedicated to be around them, I think helped. So
yeah, I've been saying for a long time that the most important thing is that the kids even know you like them. And if they know that you like them, then you can go pretty far, you know, like you have a strong foundation. But yeah, knowing that you're going to stick around when they've had no stability. And you were saying earlier, you know, there's a lot of enthusiasm and the kids are happy to be around each other, and that's hard to manage. And I've been thinking a lot lately, we've been having all these interpersonal problems with the kindergartners and first graders, like more than ever. And I'm like, oh, because when all of this insanity started, they were toddlers. They have literally never been around other kids like this before. So
and they've been growing up. They were toddlers growing up with the idea that their world isn't safe. They've been told that from all angles. So I think that's really hard.
And kids have to feel safe. Yeah. I mean, everybody does. Like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Yeah.
But if the foundation of the foundation, you know, at such a young age, is that life is not safe, what is that? How does that look like in the adult stage, or the later stages, should I say?
Right. So good for you for making school a safe place. That's really cool. We have so much more to dig into, and we're going to, but I want to do a part 2 of this. So we will continue this conversation next week. So let's go ahead and put a pin in it for this week. And we will be back with Leah and Jessandra in our next episode. And we are coming back after the break with a Spiccato.
I want to take a quick break and thank my husband Bryan, who's been working behind the scenes producing these episodes every week on all of the platforms and on time. But you need to know that he is first a financial planner for Mission Trails Financial. Mission Trails Financial is a partner that seeks to guide clients in the journey to financial success. They believe that people need a financial advisor that aims to provide strategies for success. Mission Trails Financial helps people navigate investments, tax planning, and insurance. Imagine working with an advisor who isn't tied to specific brands. Mission Trails Financial has a fiduciary responsibility to act in the best interests of their clients by providing independent, objective advice. Their mission is to help clients accomplish their financial goals. As Joe Vitale once said, a goal should scare you a little and excite you a lot. Do yourself a favor and set up a time to chat with Mission Trails Financial. Visit www.missiontrailsfinancial.com or call 619-419-0238 to schedule a call. You'll be glad you did. We believe that leaning on professionals is how we get ahead. Check out the program notes for more information.
Okay, Jonathan, what did you bring for us for Spiccato this week?
So I was at my parents' place, and you know what? I was going through.
This seems like fun.
It is fun.
I was at my parents' place, and I was just hanging out, chatting with them, talking about memories, and I decided to grab something that is dearly attached to my memory: a rice paddle, for many reasons. First off, I love rice. Rice is a wonderful staple of food. But also, well, it's also a disciplining tool.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, there was a wooden spoon in my house. But
so the thing is,
same thing.
It was a double-edged sword, but also so I have a story as well that came with it. So we like, it wasn't often, but we were definitely spanked, my brother and I, with a rice paddle. But it got to the point where my mom she would be looking through, like I remember this, like I remember 6 years old, and she's looking through the door, like, where did the rice paddle go?
Oh no.
And,
You devious genius.
and so I think this about 6 months later, she's like vacuuming behind the bookshelf, and she sees, lo and behold, this rice paddle here. Actually, it might have been this one. Actually, this is a little more newer. But it became kind of a joke between, like, as we got like older, like into our teenage years, like mom would ask, like, where's the paddle? Where's the paddle? And as a means of like, you're doing a bad job. Quit being a little butt. So, anyways, sans disciplining.
We
are not going to
definitely
bring that
not
up.
allowed.
Well, we already know it's a percussive instrument.
So, what would you use for the rice paddle in your classroom?
It sounds like you have an idea, Jessandra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go for it.
I was just making a joke on the use of your rice.
Oh, got it. Okay.
That was the real thing. It was not disciplining. Like my dad just wanted to make a good beat, and that's all. So.
Yeah, got it.
There you go. I actually feel like, so this is something we did online, and I bet a lot of other teachers did. I feel like I'm connecting less with the fact that it's a rice paddle and more with the fact that you brought something in from your home.
Okay.
And that is something we did. We did found sound percussion where we had, and it was online. And I would actually have them mute and one at a time record whatever they wanted, and then we would put it all together, which I think you can still do online or in person. There's no reason why. It just means they need a lot of reminders to remember to bring the rice paddle from home.
All 30 kids bring the rice paddle from home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I like that, and I like that yours came with a story, which I feel like is a cool connector to have kids. Now that we're not in their homes, have that extension of allowing kids to bring their homes to school a little bit. Since we don't have that connection anymore, since we're not online.
Totes.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah. Let's see. The only thing that came up to my mind was like a microphone.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Pass it around to the
pass
leader.
it around as a leader. You
Whoever's-
know, whoever has the rice paddle gets to be the soloist.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Call and response.
Call and response.
Awesome.
I've seen a teacher do something with like one of those little kid microphones, like what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
For
I think you used to do that, right?
Yeah, I have a microphone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
Well,
for TK assessments. Little kids, because they didn't want to do solos, but if they had the microphone in front of them, suddenly they were okay doing a solo.
Yes.
So
Any object in the hand is a separation between you and the fear. And so you can kind of channel it through that.
Cool.
Yeah, I like that. I was thinking about how I took an old ping pong paddle and I put red on one side and green on the other.
Yes.
For like, that's probably fire oven.
It is fire
thing.
oven, yes,
Yeah.
yep. Conversation solver
and-
just.
Yes, exactly. So sing, listen when it's on red, and then sing back at me when it's on green.
Oh.
But now I have a 3-sided one, so it's green, yellow, and red, a la David Thaxton. So green is go, sing, and yellow is think, so audiate in your head, and then red is listen.
Cool. Okay. The past week I have been doing lessons, a lot of movement, and I feel like if I had enough rice paddles, the students would hold the rice paddle however they want to, but these are the connecting points. So they connect with another student via rice paddle. So they can touch this way, or if they want to be creative, like myself and Emmanuel Soto did during levels 2, place between the legs and then like connect with legs as you're sitting down. So however you want to, but you must connect with your partners, but it must be via
That's good.
rice paddle.
That's good, and then you don't have to touch.
Exactly.
That's a good idea. I like it.
Yeah.
You know what else is a good idea?
Well, good idea is if you go onto youtube.com/chaotic classroom. But seriously, actually, I want to bring it back. I've said this a lot, but it's really like we say this a lot. It's great for you to leave a review, and it helps us feel more, happy, whatnot. But it really does improve this community by leaving us a review and also by liking it. It feels a little weird, a little different, but it helps. So if you can go onto youtube.com/chaotic classroom. and subscribe there. Even if you aren't listening to this on YouTube, if you're driving on the freeway, just pull over. Just pull on the medium. Just stop. Just
Right
go on your phone.
now.
Just right now.
Yep.
Do it.
Or go in your podcast app on
Or go-
Google Play
exactly.
or Apple Podcasts,
Spotify now allows it, and
Yes.
please leave us a review. It helps us a lot. And we want to hear more than Coach Dad SP. So please,
Yes. All right, you guys, we do have a round of the week.
yes, we do.
Round of the week. Okay, this is a Crystal Pridmore world premiere. So this is for Valentine's Day. I was just playing around with it.
Do you mind if you and Jessandra share and Leah and I share? Because my copy is.
Are we doing 2?
Oh, you know what? I have another copy.
Oh.
Look at that.
Look at that.
I got you, boo.
Okay.
Follow the spoon.
Okay, I'll sing it. Then we'll all sing it together. And then I'm thinking part 1, you two can be part 2, and you can be part 3?
Sure.
Okay. All right, here it comes. This is the love round. Love. Now hang on a second.
Sure.
That's not what I said.
I'll listen to you. How about that?
I'm gonna do it. And then we all do it together. That's all right. God, it's like the 6th graders. Love. Love makes the world a home. Neighbors, friends, and family together are not alone. Loving, kind, and caring people act so their love is shown. Ready?
Yeah.
Good luck. L-O-V-E. Love makes the world a home. Neighbors, friends, and family together are not alone. Loving, kind, and caring people act so their love is shown. L-O-V-E. Love makes the world a home. Neighbors, friends, and family together makes the world a home. Loving, kind, and caring people act so their love is shown.
Neighbors, friends, and family together are not alone. Loving, kind, and caring people act so their love is shown.
All right.
All right.
It happened. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for listening,
Yeah.
friends. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
It was really great to have you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
But don't leave.
Yeah, don't leave.
Listeners
We got
or
more.
you, we got more.
We got more.
But in case for some reason your reception gets cut off, where do you have any socials where people can find you? If not, it's fine.
I only have my personal.
Okay, that's fine.
You
My
don't have to put it
personal.
out there. It's okay. If anybody has questions for you guys, they can email chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com and we will make sure it gets to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Jonathan, where can people find you?
Me, they can find me at Mr. Seligman, MrSeligman on the Twitters, Instagrams, also TikTok. We'll see how that goes.
Ooh.
We'll see how it goes. Crystal, where can I
Gonna
find
do
you?
the savage dance.
The Savage Dance.
That's what the kids are all saying. I guess it's a thing.
Crystal, where can they find you?
You can find me at Mrs.Pridmore on Instagram. You can find me at Finny Vappa on Twitter. And that's the best places to find me.
And you can find us at CH Classroom on all socials except for YouTube, as we said earlier. youtube.com/chaoticharmonyclassroom. Or please email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
The Chaotic Harmony podcast is a joint project between Crystal Pridmore and Jonathan Seligman. You can find us online at chaoticharmonyclassroom.com. You can email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail and let us know what you think. Give us feedback about what you would like to hear in future episodes. We're on all the socials. Find us on facebook.com/chaoticharmonyclassroom. You can find us on Twitter at @CHClassroom, Instagram at Chaotic Harmony Classroom, and you can even find our episodes on YouTube. Chaotic Harmony is the name of of our channel. Special thanks to Bryan Pridmore for his help with production and equipment. www.pridmoria.com.
Imagine what student teaching was like between these.
Ah, dude, it was
great.
It was crazy. It was crazy. But the kids, I think the kids enjoyed it.
Did.
They miss you.
They do?
There's some of them do. I mean, the ones who mentioned it. I was like, Miss Nahu?
Miss Nahu?
Oh,
Me?
There we
There you
are.
are.
I lost my privileges.
Oh,
I know. That's
Time out.
one.
That's really good.
Jesse Rogers.
All right. We can take.
Ooh.
Hey,
Guess we're done.
guess we got our bloopers.
Hey.
Good thing that happened.
I don't like this table. It's official.
This is why we